I was enjoying these exercises because they seemed like a way to apply number 1 and 2, particularly number 2.
Yeah.
Mm.
When you say 1 and 2, you mean the ways
How
to
to build trust.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what we were hoping you would say.
Yeah.
I think it may have happened even unconsciously, but whether it's conscious or not conscious, it was
Yeah.
useful sequencing.
The idea is for you to make the conscious as you just did. So perfect.
Make the unconscious conscious.
Mm.
So welcome back. So that's we call that resource gossip, where it's sort of like a positive version of gossip. You're gossiping about someone, but not in a negative way, in a positive way, talking about their great skills and qualities. And if they happen to overhear you doing it, then, well, what effect did it have? So again, for those people who were what was it like hearing people talk in that way?
It really affirms the competencies, the qualities, skills the one has. It's always nice to hear positive feedback or a reflection from the environment, from the colleagues, from the teammates.
Great. And isn't it interesting that
it's good for self-esteem,
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, come on our meetups, boost your self-esteem. And isn't it interesting that if you were just speaking for 4 minutes, and that was enough for people paying attention in the right way to have things to say about positive skills, qualities, achievements, attributes, etc. Other reflections as the recipient, as person A?
For me, I got 2 types of reactions. First of all, it's like, whoa, I should have explained that differently. When you see what other people have understood, you look at maybe I wasn't clear, or I put too much detail or emphasis on something that wasn't really that important. So I would have changed my storyline, and better manage my timing. That's one thing. And the other thing is like, I don't know if they were just trying to be very nice to me, but they gave me so much credit. But hey, it was a team effort. I was just Scrum Master there. Yeah, I tried to channel the energy of the team and try to direct it. But at the end of the day, I don't deserve credit for most of it. It was the team. So it felt like I was like a superhero, and no, it wasn't the case. I just helped,
Based on what I'm hearing now, Omar, it sounds to me like you might be a quite a modest kind of guy.
No, I'm a Scrum Master. That's my job, just to accompany the team and try to channel all the energy and help them be more, I won't say productive because that's a very waterfall, expression, but, be the best version of themselves, at the given point of time.
Nice. Okay, who feels that they'd like to work for Omar in his team right now? Hands up if you'd like to be part of that team with Omar as the Scrum Master.
That's that Scrum Master job description, or it should be,
Absolutely.
Not a project manager in disguise. It's actually helping it's like an agile coach, coach. You help people be the better they can be, but it's they who choose their own decisions. You don't tell them what to do. You just help them,
Good stuff. Okay, thank you. Other experiences of?
Yeah, for our team, Deep and Beatrice, they were so kind and generous to give a lot of positive feedback, and thank you so much for that. Even it's always happy and giving a lot of positive energy, to getting the positive feedback from the people, even if it is small or big. That makes a lot of intrinsic motivation for the person, especially for me to hear, that is, Deep was mentioning that, I never used to say about myself, or I did that thing, this thing, instead of that, the team we're doing, empowering the team, to servant leadership we're showcasing, that's make me so happy, and thank you so much for the wonderful feedback.
Made you so happy, that's good to hear, so thank you. Other comments, other experiences?
Yeah, it was really nice to hear a lot of positive strokes. Like basically so much positivity was really nice to hear it bounce, and it made me really happy and really joyful. I spotted So in the conversations, I spotted gaps in negativity or personal negativity where I felt that maybe my inner child was sort of discounting the things that I'd said in the conversations that said back. And I was sort of almost knocking myself down in certain things where the story didn't align with the story that I'm telling myself, which I found interesting.
Very, very nicely observed. So now you've got the choice. You can believe the story that's being reflected back, or you can believe the inner story, and you know, either could be accurate. But it's nice to have that choice, isn't it? You don't look convinced.
I am, yeah. There's it's. I think the inner story is interesting. There's like that's the internal narrative that goes round sometimes, and I think when you hear the story back, that inner narrative sort of plays against it almost, and it's interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. Good. Okay, so that's been the sort of experiences people have. Let's step back a level. So just briefly summarize for me, what did we do in that exercise? What were the main components?
Listening with positive intent.
Listening with positive intent, right. Yeah. And then in the second part?
So I love to be judgmental with people, and I love to do that in a positive sense. This was an opportunity to do that. But the thing is, I do this because I have to say nice things about them to the management tomorrow, not to them. It's really weird talking nice things to someone to their face.
Okay.
It's really weird. I can't do that. So I had to put him down a little. I made a snide remark about his shirt after I had praised him. It's impossible to say something nice to someone's face just like that for 4 minutes.
No, it was only 3.
Sometimes it will be very cringy.
Say again?
Sometimes it will be very cringy to do that.
Potentially, yeah. So what can we do to avoid that cringiness? What maybe the first question is what makes it cringy? What's the cringy version of this?
They might think that you're just praising in their face, just in expectation of something in return or something.
Okay, yeah.
Which
so
might not be really the case.
Sure.
For me, it was because Simpson is not looking for validation in my knowledge. It's just the exercise which is making me say nice things to him directly.
Okay.
I don't know if he's looking for affirmation or validation. People who are looking for it, you can see it in their behavior. At that point of time, they might be vulnerable and need it.
Okay.
Simpson is very self-confident. He doesn't need my validation.
Right.
That makes it cringy for me to say nice things to him directly.
Okay. Is that your experience, Simpson? Did it feel cringy?
Both were so generous, and one area about my t-shirt I have to really consider to not wear that again.
Okay, so what I'd usually say in this area is, first of all, we can do this in a non-judgmental kind of way, not judging either positively or negatively. It can simply be an observation, and an observation of our response. I was impressed by. Or if we're thinking in a coaching context, it can be something like we're noticing that someone has a quality that maybe they're taking for granted. Maybe it's something that will help them go in the direction they want to go, but they don't even realize it. And this is so often people's best qualities, they're just taken for granted. So, I'm just trying to think of examples. Sometimes people have said to me over the years, I'm really good at summarizing what people say in a way that makes it clear. And I didn't really know that. I just sort of, I'm just listening and I'm just checking that I've understood. But now that people have told me that, I know, okay, well, I'm actually quite good at that. I'm quite good at listening and summarizing in such a way that it gives people clarity. That means the fact that people have told me that means I can draw on that strength. I can use it as a communication strategy. I can put myself in places where people find that helpful. So used really well, this ability to affirm can really make quite a difference in people's lives. It can be really encouraging. The way to avoid, I would say, the way to avoid it being cringy, the way to make it cringy is just to say, oh, you did really good work. Oh, that was nice. That was brilliant. Oh, well done. Pat on the head. Yeah. Whereas if you say something like, I think it was really, it strikes me as being really perceptive of you to notice the, so this is going to come out patronizing, so I don't want to say that. If it's something like,
may I interject one,
yes,
Roy?
please. If you can think of.
I loved the way you gave us our instructions in just 3 words that were incredibly easy to follow. No doubt this is the result of much discussion between you, Frank, and other colleagues, and I really appreciate the enormous preparation that must have gone into boiling it down to just 3 words. What impressed us?
Nice. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a really good example. I don't feel at all patronized. I feel appreciated. Don't know about you, Frank. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So it's like, and I hadn't even realized we'd done that. It just tripped off the tongue. I presume that was just what I said at the end or something.
I wrote it down verbatim.
Right. Okay. So there you go. Perfect example. Hadn't realized that's what I did. It is absolutely, as you say, something that over the years it sort of got distilled into that phrase of what impressed you as being a good way of looking at this. One of many good ways of looking at this. So thank you. You know, I'll remember to use that because it wasn't conscious. So next time I'll remember that's a helpful way of doing it. And it's a really good example of something that's a positive, appreciative affirmation that's not judgmental. It's just like, you know, yeah, that impressed me. Good. Now, how are you feeling as a group? Because generally speaking, after an hour of a workshop, I figure people are starting to get tired and starting to lose the ability to do fresh thinking. So I would usually put a break in. But just looking around the screen, it looks to me like you might all be feeling fresh and ready for another 25 minutes. Let's just carry on. So if you want to carry on, just thumbs up. If you want to break, thumbs down. Okay, it's pretty much unanimous. Sorry, Prem. Feel free to take a break if you want.
Just 2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes.
Mini break.
Mini break. Okay, so
Okay, then let's have
Two as well then.
It's a biological break.
bio break. Just
Bio
let's
break.
say 3 minutes because I think 2 is optimistic.
Okay.
And if those of you who want to stay on the call and keep chatting, you're also very welcome to do that.
I'll take it.
By the way, how are you doing, Roy? Long time no see.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I must say I'm very, very pleased that I'm going on holiday next week because I haven't had a break since the new year. And as Frank will confirm through the day in our different meetings, I've been a bit like, oh, I'm going to get through this. But you know what? Actually, getting into this environment with all you guys, I'm fit as a fiddle. Lots of energy.
And where is this holiday going to be?
Well, the first one, it's all within the UK because of the
of course
little situation that you may have heard of. So the first one is going to be at a Buddhist retreat centre in the Welsh borders. So just a chance for some really, really, really quiet time. And then my partner and I, we've been social distancing since March. So you can imagine we're looking forward to getting away, and we're going up to the Scottish borders and the Scottish Highlands and lakes and things. So
some meditation and some scotch. Those things can solve everything in the world.
You can see why I'm doing it that way round, can't you?
Yeah.
Are you based out of London, Roy?
I'm based in Cambridge.
Oh, nice.
How about you, Abby? Where are you?
In Edinburgh. So welcome to
Oh.
Scottish borders.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. So, yeah.
And Frank, how is Frankfurt? Is
How
it
is
named after you by any chance?
It's quite hot at the moment in Frankfurt. But I haven't been in Frankfurt for several months because I'm working from home. So they don't want to see me in the office. So I think since March I haven't been in the office.
Same for me.
Has anyone been in the office recently?
Yeah.
No.
In my office.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, for me, this is a little bit situation normal. You know, I normally work from here. So, good. I think
Okay.
most of us are back. So, actually, Frank, do you want me to set up the breakout rooms? Do you want to make me the host?
Yeah. Okay. I will do. Thank you. So, Android, do you want to share the screen? Thanks. So the next step, and that's an important one, we think, is how to use this, what you just experienced or just did in the breakout rooms. And we would like you to do this in pairs. And each person 3 minutes. So person 1 asks person 2, for example, how could you use this? What situations? What would be the first tiny step that you could take? And after 3 minutes, you would swap over, and then person 2 is asked, and you could just generate some ideas in pairs. How could you use this great exercise within your teams, within your organizations, or wherever you want to use it? So 3 minutes each person, and we will see you in roughly 6 minutes back again.
Can I just check? Anne, I'm not seeing you on video. Do you want to be in a pair here? Cool. Okay. Good. So the rooms. I shall go into that pair with Anne because otherwise it's an odd number, and see you back. Is the recording on?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello. Oh, there are Austin here.
Everyone's back. Yeah, welcome. We are really curious about what you found out and to hear what your maybe next steps will be, your small steps, or in which situations you could use this, what we learned or what you experienced. Who wants to share ideas or steps with us? Dougie.
Sure, yeah. It just occurred to me after I'm going to a party. We were just speaking about reminding ourselves who's there. There's a particular person would be my least favorite person who will probably be there. And if I have positive gossip with my wife about this other person's positive qualities,
wow,
I'll enjoy the party a lot more.
Wow, yeah, what a great idea. Thank you. Yeah.
It's on Saturday. So.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Anything else?
Yeah, we have Dibu who is going to apply this technique within few hours of time. Dibu, I hope you can share your ideas.
I was planning to use this tomorrow. Tomorrow at 12:30 CET, I have a meeting where I have usually conflict resolution. I don't believe in it because I think conflict is good. But when conflict gets too negative, where it's not fact-based, it's dangerous. We have a situation where the conflict between the Scrum Master and the product owner has reached a stage where they might have to use a RACI matrix.
Mm.
I'm really afraid of those things. Responsibility, accountability matrix. There's a weird thing from waterfall era, and I'm really afraid of those. I don't want that to happen. I want them to find the best way together. So tomorrow, before we begin, maybe I can use 5 minutes with each person to list out some of the positive qualities and some of the assets that the other person has brought to the team, some of the help that they have been, so that they can think of good things about each other before we begin the main conversation.
Wow. Yeah, great.
You know, it's hard to believe, sorry, I have to speak as a Scrum Master, that a Scrum Master has an open conflict with someone in the team because, you know, in theory, the Scrum Master should help navigate conflicts, you know, and cannot be the source of a conflict himself or herself, even if the product owner is very dictatorial, if you want, or like old style, predictive, Taylorist, you know, waterfall-y. The Scrum Master still needs to have, it has a triple loyalty towards the team, the dev team, towards the product owner as well, and then balance the loyalty towards the company that hired him. You know, it has to find this balance. And avoiding conflict himself or herself, it's maybe one of the first priorities, you know, not be part of the conflict.
Yeah, it should be.
People are people first and Scrum Masters later. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a very thankless job, Amma. I can feel you.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, back to the question then.
Yeah, so I was just talking to NIMS. My entire team was onboarded. I literally onboarded every single person after the COVID lockdown. So me, and it was my one of the BA and one of the product owners, and everybody else. Kind of, we onboarded them the last 1.5 months after the COVID started. So literally, people don't know how everybody behaves. I got the opportunity to see somebody, and I know what they mean when they speak. And people were initially very shy to even turn on their videos and speak. So we recently kind of asked everybody to just go in your comfort zone. Whenever you feel comfortable, turn on your video so we can understand your body language, because most of the communication is just by seeing you. So there were lots of things. There was no team building, as in when a team is created, we don't go to team lunches, no coffee breaks, no nothing. So we literally don't know. So I was just talking to NIMS, and she was also saying like to use this as an onboarding activity to like get everybody together. I'm not going to ask the entire team as in like what your successes were, because we are all in the same project. Anne has really beautifully explained her success with us when we were in the other break room. But it's because it's going to be within the same project, I'm probably going to ask them like, whatever was your biggest strength, like an icebreaker question, or like any accomplishments you've had in the last decade, or whichever you feel proud about yourself in the last decade or from when you're born, and things that people can understand about a person, not just clocking work from 8 to 5. There's another side to the person. They build confidence and trust. Understanding the positives of the other person is what I thought. I will do it tomorrow or like this week, 30 minutes or 1 hour activity, so people can get to know.
Great. I just want to add something up. I use this exercise or this thing several times when within a team, like you described, and people know each other. So then it's a little bit different as I use it, because you don't have to talk about your great moments or your things you reached. You just have to listen. People talking about you, and you just listen, and they talk about your strengths, your contributions. And normally I do it like we're sitting in a circle, the whole team, and the person that is talked about sits with the back then to the other persons.
Nice. You don't... Like Deepu was telling, in the retro, even in the retro we can use, like we usually have a thank you board. When I do my retros, we also have a thank you board. Every fortnight people can say oh, this person has really helped me with this one, so I wanted to thank this person. It was very helpful. So this exercise would really make so much help to me. Definitely. No, that makes perfect sense, Frank.
Great. Anything else? Thank you, Abby. John.
Yeah, I think this the comment about the product owner, I've seen this working between a Scrum Master and product owner to try and get people to explain sort of the positive stuff they see in each other, to build trust when things have broken down to kind of a level where things of trust is not there. And I've seen that work very well. But I think the big thing I think I'd like to use this is maybe with other coaches or Scrum Masters. So listening and then focusing on the positives that you see in other Scrum Masters, because sometimes the needs of the Scrum Master, the needs of the coaches are not being met, are not being acknowledged. And I think that's probably where the most power of this comes from.
Yeah, that's good, because I think even in these roles, you're giving a lot of energy in your teams, and normally you don't get, or you don't get something back.
Yeah, and I think if you're observing, maybe if you're in a COP with a load of other Scrum Masters, maybe observing other Scrum Masters in a sort of a really impartial way, and then providing that positive feedback of things that you see that are really good would probably be transformational. I think it would have a really big effect on us.
Yeah, great, excellent. Thank you, John. Anyone else who wants to share something?
Well, sorry, it's always good to have, some opposing views. I have my reservations with this technique because some of the members in my team, they're so introverted that I don't see them comfortable. Like, it's really taking away from their comfort zone to do this exercise, So for me, that will be too extreme for some of them. And they will, it will just be contrived. They will feel, uncomfortable. So, I mean, I'm sure there are other techniques that are less radical for them, in their mind, to get them to acknowledge other people's, like positive things, more like. And I like, there's one that I particularly like to do before doing this one, which is the empathy map.
Yeah.
Asking people to put themselves in the shoes of, I don't know, the front ender or the QA or whatever, and try to identify how they feel, what they see, what they hear, what they feel, at different moments of the project, and find some solidarity, some empathy, and that's for me a good way to pave the road to better, to build stronger bonds, among team members.
I think you make an excellent point, Omar, especially in the sense that this was a meetup on getting people talking. And so there are times when doing that exercise as we did it would have the opposite effect, exactly as you say. So I think our thinking in coming up with this wasn't so much about, here is a specific exercise, go away and do this, follow this recipe. I'm more thinking of you guys, you're agile coaches and Scrum Masters, you're in the business of doing coaching. Here's a possible recipe. Find out what works best for people in your situation. So it might be as simple as you mention a positive quality or something that's impressed you to a third party in the earshot of somebody, so that they don't even they're not even on the spot enough that they have to acknowledge it. They just overhear you talking about them positively. It might.
What do you believe, sorry to interrupt, about this technique by Spotify, that kudos cards, What do you think about that? Where people leave secret, quote unquote, secret, thank you notes, to thank their teammates for specific things.
Sure. So if it fits, brilliant. Use it. Give it a try. I often use that kind of technique in a 2-day workshop.
Okay.
Where it's set up so that everyone is secretly observing someone else, and at the end they have to give some kind of, you know, in this context, it's an Oscar presentation because the coaching model is called Oscar. They have to give an Oscar award to somebody for outstanding achievement in the field of, and then guess what? That so yeah, that kind of thing can work extremely well if it's something everyone's into. Yeah, if everyone thinks, it's another cheap, horrible, agile coaching scrum mastery gimmick, it's not going to work so well.
I like the Oscar Awards thing. I like that one. I'll steal it from you.
Good.
I've seen Kudos working really well with a team when a team's owned it, but I've seen Kudos not going down when it's been forced upon a team. So yeah, I think it's context aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like to add one thing, because what you said, Omar, resonated somehow, because I experienced this thing in a team as a team member, and we did it in a silent way. So everyone had an envelope on the wall for every person, and everyone had I don't know 3-4 minutes per person, and just wrote down on Post-its like resources and every positive stuff, and just put it in this envelope, and we didn't speak any word. And then afterwards you put your envelope and read through the Post-it, and it was a great experience for me as a team member.
Okay.
So we're reaching the end.
Yeah.
So a couple of things to do at the end. One is sometimes people quite like to have like a group portrait at the end of the workshop. So, you know, would you like that? Give me a thumbs up if it feels like a good idea. Cool. Okay, so everyone just give us a wave at the screen and I shall take the shot. Everyone, yay. Okay, got it. Thank you. Just quickly post. Now, here's another question around that, which is I like to share on LinkedIn after these things, just something about what we talked about, just something about, you know, had a great meetup, that kind of thing. If you're happy for me to share that photo and happy for me to tag you, actually no, if you're happy to share for me to share the photo, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so thank you. I'm quite good at Photoshop, so I'll make sure that you don't appear if you didn't thumbs up at that point. And then if you're happy for me to tag you on LinkedIn, because that makes so much of a difference. Again, thumbs up if you're happy to be tagged. Fantastic, thank you. Again, let me, yeah, got that one. Good.
Could you Photoshop Simpson's shirt into something more nicer, maybe?
Yeah, please try to change my t-shirt color.
I mean, there was no Zoom in 1980s.
And can you make me like Angelina Jolie or somebody?
Could I make you what, Abby?
Angelina Jolie.
No, I want Abby there. I don't want Angelina Jolie. Okay, and the final thing to say is just that what makes this all possible? What makes it possible for us to run these fantastic, it's fantastic for me. I hope it's been fantastic for you. It's great having you guys all along. I really enjoy doing these workshops. And there's a part of me that's like, you just gave away 90 minutes training. Why did you do that? Well, the reason is that I'm hoping that some of, and this does happen, if I copy it correctly, I'm hoping that some of you will think, hey, that was cool. I'd like to have a bit more of that, and I'd like to have something that's a bit more in depth than we can cover in 90 minutes. So I think that Prem, putting you on the spot, is doing the ongoing training with us. And you know, there's a whole bunch of people going through it. It seems to be working really, really, really well for people. So if you want to come on the one that starts in September, it would be absolutely wonderful to have you guys along. I've just put in the link. There's one link to more meetups. If you want to come along, you're very welcome. And one to the training that starts in September. End of commercial break.
I really enjoy the course. Roy is not paying me to say this.
It's true.
You are paying Roy. It's the other way around.
And she's still saying more. Yeah. So yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Prem. And yeah, lovely to see you all. You know, let's say, you know, I've really enjoyed. I was saying to some people earlier on, it's like I was feeling I was in a bit of a state because I haven't had a break since New Year, and actually, you know, through the day I was feeling pretty ropey. Spending time with you this evening, I'm feeling much better. So I hope it's been good for you. It's been really good for me. Prem, you had your finger up. Did you want to say something else?
My husband was in here, and he was listening to our conversation. I mean, I don't know. He might not have got any context of anything, but he said that, who is that person talking? He has got really nice, smooth voice.
and who was it?
It was Roy, yes.
Well, say thank you to your husband for me. And it sounds like even Prem's husband has picked up on the theme that we were covering this evening of positive affirms. So great. Good luck, and looking forward to hopefully seeing some of you soon.
Likewise.
Bye. Thank you.
Enjoy, Roy. I enjoyed Frank as well. Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Yeah.
Okay.